Oh no, what happened? The create key. I don't know what happened. And this mouse. Me, take over. Take over while I try to get Instagram. Hey, what's up? It's Moshe Loren. And for 23 years, I was the voice on the radio behind the mic in cities like St. Louis, Philly, and West Palm Beach, connecting with listeners and sharing stories and just being a voice for the community. We've laughed together, we've cried together, and we've navigated the crazy ups and downs of this life together. But then life threw me a curveball. After my 10-year marriage ended, everything changed overnight. And I found myself asking, so what now? This podcast is my answer. And it's not just my journey, it's ours. It's for those of us who have had to reset, pivot, or start over in the face of life's unexpected challenges. Together, we'll explore healing, happiness, grief, self-reflection, forgiveness, dating, yes, dating, because I gotta get back in these streets, and everything in between. Through my journey, I'm creating a safe space for us to come together, reclaim our strength, and rebuild our lives. You don't have to go through this alone. Together, we'll find the confidence to create the happily ever after we all deserve. So what now? Let's figure it out together. Step into Closet Bar, the spot where fashion meets attitude and every piece is a vibe. Whether you're looking to shake or stir up a night out or something casual for your everyday slay, they've got pieces that'll serve you day and night. From casual to sexy, trendy, and timeless. Freshen up your wardrobe with Closet Bar. Timeless pieces, brunch pieces, day with your bae pieces, and everything in between. At Closet Bar, fashion is made for everyone. With a wide range of sizes and styles, there's something for every woman, no matter your age, shape, or vibe. Want some extra help curating your look? Book a personal style session and let our experts craft the perfect outfits for you, tailored to your personality and lifestyle. Head over to Closet Bar and get a taste of what it means to stand out. Shop the latest collections and upgrade your style game. Don't miss out on the must-have pieces that'll keep you fly and fierce no matter where the day or night takes you. Whether it's a statement piece or everyday essential, Closet Bar has what you need to feel confident and look amazing. For your next signature look, shop myclosetbar.com. Use the word closet at checkout and receive a 10% discount. Closet Bar, because you deserve to look as good as you feel. Hey, what's up? It's Moshe Loren. And for 23 years, I was the voice on the radio behind the mic in cities like St. Louis, Philly, and West Palm Beach, connecting with listeners and sharing stories and just being a voice for the community. We've laughed together, we've cried together, and we've navigated the crazy ups and downs of this life together. But then life threw me a curveball. After my 10-year marriage ended, everything changed overnight. And I found myself asking, so what now? This podcast is my answer. And it's not just my journey, it's ours. It's for those of us who have had to reset, pivot, or start over in the face of life's unexpected challenges. Together, we'll explore healing, happiness, grief, self-reflection, forgiveness, dating, yes, dating, because I gotta get back in these streets, and everything in between. Through my journey, I'm creating a safe space for us to come together, reclaim our strength, and rebuild our lives. You don't have to go through this alone. Together, we'll find the confidence to create the happily ever after we all deserve. So what now? Let's figure it out together. Step into Closet Bar, the spot where fashion meets attitude and every piece is a vibe. Whether you're looking to shake or stir up a night out or something casual for your everyday slay, they've got pieces that'll serve you day and night. From casual to sexy, trendy, and timeless. Freshen up your wardrobe with Closet Bar. Timeless pieces, brunch pieces, day with your bae pieces, and everything in between. At Closet Bar, fashion is made for everyone. With a wide range of sizes and styles, there's something for every woman, no matter your age, shape, or vibe. Want some extra help curating your look? Book a personal style session and let our experts craft the perfect outfits for you, tailored to your personality and lifestyle. Head over to Closet Bar and get a taste of what it means to stand out. Shop the latest collections and upgrade your style game. Don't miss out on the must-have pieces that'll keep you fly and fierce no matter where the day or night takes you. Whether it's a statement piece or everyday essential, Closet Bar has what you need to feel confident and look amazing. For your next signature look, shop myclosetbar.com. Use the word closet at checkout and receive a 10% discount. Closet Bar, because you deserve to look as good as you feel. Hey, what's up? It's Moshe Loren. And for 23 years, I was the voice on the radio behind the mic in cities like St. Louis, Philly, and West Palm Beach, connecting with listeners and sharing stories and just being a voice for the community. We've laughed together, we've cried together, and we've navigated the crazy ups and downs of this life together. But then life threw me a curveball. After my 10-year marriage ended, everything changed overnight. And I found myself asking, so what now? This podcast is my answer. And it's not just my journey, it's ours. It's for those of us who have had to reset, pivot, or start over in the face of life's unexpected challenges. Together, we'll explore healing, happiness, grief, self-reflection, forgiveness, dating, yes, dating, because I gotta get back in these streets, and everything in between. Through my journey, I'm creating a safe space for us to come together, reclaim our strength, and rebuild our lives. You don't have to go through this alone. Together, we'll find the confidence to create the happily ever after we all deserve. So what now? Let's figure it out together. Oh my God. Okay. Hey y'all. Hey y'all. Hey. On in a second. Okay. Okay. My mic is on. Okay. My mic is on. My mic is on. Yes? Yes. You can hear me good? My special guest? Okay, good. Just breathe before we even get started. Before I even welcome y'all to the show, I just got to do this. Just give me 1 second. Hold the line. Okay. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome to So What Now, the podcast for those of us taking painful endings and turning them into beautiful new beginnings. Sort of like what we're going to do in tonight's conversation, because just before we went live, like moments before the countdown was going, moments before we went live, tell me why everything just blacked out, including my two lights over here. Meek, can you come turn these two lights on over here? Including two of the lights. But that's just the devil, okay, trying to keep us from having this conversation. But we're going to have this conversation because it is a conversation that we must have. Give me 1 second as I continue to work on some technical stuff. Meek, when you're finished, can you also make sure that my AirPod on that computer, since that was the one that turned off, can you make sure that that is connected? All right. Welcome to another week, everybody. I pray that your week was wonderful. We are one day from the weekend, and we are just 1 week from Thanksgiving, which is also our season finale. And we'll talk about that a little later. But today, what are we diving into today? We're diving into it's a tough topic, but it's essential. Like, it's an essential topic that we must talk about, and it's infidelity. Why do men cheat? And what are the factors behind it? It's a question that I'm sure you've had many times before within your own circles and that kind of stuff. But today we are going to get the shovel out and dig a little bit deeper to peel back those layers. And I'm going to do it with Grammy Award winner, singer, and songwriter, Mr. Ryan Toby. He'll be joining us in a moment to share his perspective on relationships. Okay. So, with that being said, I kind of already did this, but if you don't mind, I'd like to do it yet again. I'd like to libate. You know how we do, we like to libate. Hmm. And then we like to hydrate. Okay. And before I kick the show off, I'm sorry, guys, I'm doing a lot of technical stuff because our computers had gone down earlier. So before I start every show, you know, I like to start every show with gratitude. Meek Meek, I got them right here. Here they go. I got them. Let's start every show like this. I like to start with gratitude because it is because of you that I continue to do this and push to do this every single week. Because I will tell you, it is no easy feat. I've got a very, very, very full life. And this is such a passion for me that I make time to do it. And it is when you take time to actually, when you actually take time, slow down. Okay. All right. Calm down. Okay. I'm a little anxious, y'all, because okay. Let me get it together. Thank you, Meek. So, but really though, it really is a passion project for me. And because my plate is so full with all the things that I'm juggling in life and in rebuilding my life and rebuilding my business and taking on new business and all that stuff, it is messages like this. When you decide to write me and tell me how the show is impacting you, it is messages like this that really keep me going. I just told Mika today, I said, Mika, season two, baby, something's got to happen different in season two if I'm going to keep this up because it's just a lot, for just me. So this came in from one of our villagers. It says, "God bless you for your transparency, beloved. Keep pushing. Trust the process. God's got you, Queen Sister. This is so empowering and enlightening how you are impacting so many women. Thank you so much. I promise you." That definitely goes a long way because, like I said, it is just what I need to keep me going on the days that I don't want to keep going. And this came from my big sis, Lady B. I'm sure you guys know her if you are a hip hop head, not just if you're in the city of Philadelphia. If you're in Philly, you absolutely know who Lady B is, but she is an icon, and she's also my big sis. But she wrote me and she said, "I love you and how you're open to sharing your journey." So keep them coming. Like, subscribe, and share if you like what you get here, if you like the content. Okay, Max, you gotta go. Bye. Go. Those are my babies. Y'all gotta go. Bye. Bye. Go. 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 Like, comment, share if you like what you get when you're here, and if you want to help us to continue to build our village. Okay. All right. So without further ado, can we jump into this conversation really quick? Because this is going to be a good one. So why are we talking about infidelity? Because it's a topic that I believe so many people are talking about. It's on the minds of men and women, not just women. It's on the minds of men and women. It's whispered about. It's talked about in different circles, water cooler, even played out in TV. Ratchet TV or reality TV, films, movies. You see it all the time. But today, I'm hoping we can really go a little bit deeper and not to be judgmental in going deeper, right? We don't want to be judgmental, but we want to try to understand, because understanding is really the first step towards healing. And maybe, just maybe, we can gain some clarity in our own relationships. So to help me do that, I am joined by the multi Grammy award winning singer, songwriter, world traveler, health and fitness enthusiast. I don't know if you've seen his abs lately, but you should definitely check those out. Closet comedian, a provocateur of nostalgia. Tell me you don't immediately feel something when you hear, "Oh, happy day." From Sister Act 2, he is definitely one of the bros in my brotherhood village that I talk about often. Please welcome my very first guest of So What Now, my brother, Ryan Toby. Hey, boo. How
Hey,
are
good
you?
morning.
How you doing?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
You good? Okay, we'll make sure I
Yeah,
can hear you good. make sure I can hear you good. Me, could you make sure my iPod, my AirPods are connected over there? Can you see? Hold on, y'all. We working it out. I told y'all in the beginning of my podcast that this is going to be a beautiful mess, and it has been just that. It has been a beautiful mess. We are working out the kinks as we go along. And can you see it? Hold on. Let me. Okay, let me jump here. You got it?
Can you hear me?
Nope,
Can you
over
hear me?
there. Mm-mm, mm-mm. Let me, right here. Uh,
Hey.
what do you see?
Check.
What do you see? Uh,
Can you hear me?
okay, there we go. Yeah. Whew,
You
I
can hear me?
told y'all we had some crash and burn. I can hear you fine. Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Can you
can
hear
you
me?
see me?
Huh?
Yeah. I said, can you hear me? Can you see me? Do you love me? Like, what are we doing?
I can hear you. I can see you. I love you dearly, Mr. Ryan Toby. So we got to really get into this. So the first place I want to start, right? The first place I want to start exploring is I want to explore the why, because I think many people wonder why somebody, we're jumping right into the deep end of the pool, okay? Why would somebody risk losing everything, right? Risk losing everything, and you don't even know what's on the other side of that mountain. You know what you have, you don't know what's on the other side of that mountain, but why would you risk losing everything? And some common reasons that we hear about the whys have to do with psychology, because the show is the psychology of infidelity, because there's a whole psycho something that goes on there, right? And some of the reasons can range from like boredom to greed to insecurity to um, unmet needs to the lack of personal role models. So, from your perspective, why do you think men cheat? Or should the better question before you do that is first define what cheating is to you, and then why do men cheat?
I define as cheating, but what do you define as cheating?
No, no, no. This
You
ain't.
just,
This ain't. This. I'm talking to you. You got to
no.
tell me.
Because I want to make sure that I'm answering within the parameters of your question. Because your question is like, why do men cheat? The bigger question, why do people cheat? Like, why is it
I think
like
I think
you?
I'm
Why do
I'm
men
I'm think
cheat?
I'm more
Like,
concerned when you say people. I know men and women cheat. We get that. I get that. I'm not saying that men are the only people who cheat, but my show is
right.
geared towards women. So we're wanting to know from a man's perspective, right? As someone, wait,
When men cheat,
when men cheat, why do they cheat? And then if you can define what you consider cheating in that same question. It's sort of like a twofold question.
well, once again, the I think it's all case by case. I think everyone's different. I think it's a very broad question to try to sum up as well. This is why men cheat. I mean, there could be a myriad of reasons. I mean, the ones that you just named, and also, I mean, a whole host of other reasons. Um, then when we talk about like what is cheating, I mean, I think different people have a different idea of what cheating is, even is. So maybe you could we could maybe piggyback off of each other to even figure out like what is cheating. That's a broad question as well.
All
You
right,
know what
so
I
here we
mean?
go. Here we go. Let me give you my real flat out. This is a raw dog
Yeah,
flat out answer
yeah.
as to why as
Right.
as to what cheating
What kind
is.
of cheating are you talking about? Let me answer the kind of cheating you're specifically
No,
talking
I'm
about.
just
Because
I'm
I've
just saying
heard
what
that.
is cheating to you? Here we go. You're in a relationship. Cheating is anything that you do or say that you couldn't do or say in front of me. Period. That's it. That's cheating. Because
Mhm.
there's a level of
Okay,
secrecy in you
okay,
being able to say or do something that you don't want me to know about,
right,
right? So I don't care to what degree,
right.
but in my eyes, that is what cheating is. Do you agree or disagree with that?
If I was in a relationship with you, you just stated what cheating is. So then that's what it is to you. You see what I'm saying? To somebody else, cheating could be why you even talk to that person. Somebody else might be like, oh
No.
man, you know what I mean? Somebody else might be like, cheating is that little work friend. just stays at work, that's cheating. See what I'm saying? So they could be thoroughly hurt based on their idea of a relationship. Cheating can come in so many different levels. I think just like the rules of engagement when you're dealing with your person, you guys have to lay down what the rules are in your relationship. Y'all come to that understanding, and then once y'all have that understanding, whoever steps outside of those rules, that's considered cheating. But to just say, what is cheating to you? I guess whatever I do outside of the rules that you and I have agreed to, or whatever you do outside of the rules, or foundations of our fidelity that you and I have agreed to, whatever that is, that's what cheating is, right?
Hold on one second. Hold that thought one second because we're having a
Mhm.
sound issue. We're having a sound issue. Can you guys hear? You guys can't hear. They're saying they can't hear you on the live. They
Oh,
said they can't really hear you good.
hold on. Let me try.
They said it sound
Let's
doesn't.
see. I can switch. I can use my different mic. How about now? Is that better?
They said take your
Is that better?
headphones off. Yeah, take his
Yeah,
headphones off.
I just switched it.
Huh?
Oh no, no, hold on one second. Hold on.
Oh, okay.
Here we go. How's that?
How's that? What do you think now? What you think? Oh, say something, Ryan, so they can hear you. Your mic is muted. Hold on, let me unmute your mic. Your mic is your mic unmute your mic. Your mic is muted.
Hello?
There you go. Yeah, that's
Is
better.
this better? Yeah.
That's much better. Right? Is that
Okay.
much better? Yeah, that's much better. Okay, I thought it was my I'm thinking it was my
So,
earpod.
all right.
Okay. Yeah,
All
that's
right.
much better.
We
Okay.
good?
Let's start. Yeah, that's better. Okay. Rewind selector. Easy now, easy now. We're gonna rewind this thing. Let's come all the way back. Come all the way
Can you
back. Okay.
can you hear me? Can you hear
We
me?
can hear you. Yes. Much better.
Okay.
Yes. Meek, much better. Okay. Let's start this
All right.
all over because
Cool.
we didn't
All
catch
right.
any of that. So we're going to go back to
All
the
right.
beginning. And the beginning was simply this. We're talking about the psychology of infidelity. Okay. And we're talking about the reasons why men, in this particular conversation, we're talking about reasons why men think my perspective, Ryan's perspective. Before we unpack that, though, I thought it was important for us to make sure we're on the same page in terms of what do you consider, you, Ryan?
Okay.
What do you consider cheating? I consider cheating whatever you do and whatever you do or say that you couldn't do or say in front of me. What do you consider cheating?
I'd have to say cheating for me would be whatever you or I do outside of the parameters of the rules that we agreed upon. You know what I mean?
Okay,
The a
fair
bit
enough.
of whatever we agreed upon is the foundation of our fidelity and our relationship and our engagement. Whatever
Mm-hmm.
you and I do outside of that, what we agreed,
Okay.
our agreement, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
because
That's fair.
everybody's agreement is different. So
This is true.
what one couple may consider cheating, another couple might be like, oh, that ain't nothing. Some people feel like if you dance with somebody else at a party, that's cheating. Somebody else, oh, my wife dances all night. I don't care. I like to see her dance. Like, so
Mm-hmm.
whatever you and I agree on, we have our agreement. This is how we roll. Don't step outside of what we decided.
What
That's
we
all.
agree to. That is fair.
Yeah.
And for that I respect that because there was a conversation that you two mutually agreed upon these are our boundaries, these are our rules. So in your committed relationships, when you're in a committed relationships, what are some of those rules for you in terms of how you see fidelity?
I think that's case by case. I think that's person by person. It depends on the woman I'm dealing with. It depends on.
Mhm. Mhm.
I think a lot of times it has to do with the age. Age has a lot to do with
Mhm.
it. Maturity level has a lot to do with it. You know what I mean? Things that would
Mhm.
have been considered cheating in your high school relationship, maybe you've
Well, give us an
outgrown
example.
some
I don't
things, you
give
know
us
what I
an
mean?
example like of what Ryan.
Talk,
Okay, what? Go ahead.
you why okay, in high school, a boy would get in trouble for, I don't know, sitting next to a girl in lunch, like
Mm-hmm.
coaching. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
being, silly, but just to
Facetious. I
show you
get
the
it.
range of like how relationships evolve, people evolve and mature. You understand? And I
Mm-hmm.
think like
Mm-hmm.
things that were important to you or are important in certain relationships at a certain time in your life, maybe, in your 20s, you care about that. Maybe in your 30s, you're not so much worried about certain things. You're more worried about this. If there's children involved, children not involved. I just think there's so many different parameters. That's why I said it's really about what you and I agree to. So
Right.
it's
And
hard
so
to
I
put
think what I'm
these,
trying to dig
that's all.
into is no, I respect that. I get that. What I was trying to dig into is let's give some real live examples, right? So you have you're in this committed relationship where there was a discussion as to what the rules are, how we will respect one another outside of our relationship or whatever. What are some in the past? Just think of a past relationship where there was supposed to be a monogamous um, relationship
Right.
and commitment. What were some of those rules for you?
Oh man, now you got me going back in time.
Damn, it's been that long. It's been
No,
that
I'm
long
just saying
since you had
you got me thinking
fidelity.
about
What's going on?
you got me thinking about old relationships I don't necessarily want to think about. Let me see. Lying, you know,
Okay,
lying.
being dishonest. Hmm.
Yeah, and not necessarily lying about just being a liar to me is just like that's like a big no-no for me. I don't care if you lying
Hmm.
about seeing somebody or if you lying about you went to the store and you really, you know, went to the
Didn't go
spa.
to the
Like
store.
why you
Yeah.
lie? You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't
No.
I don't care for I don't care for lying. So that was one. Uh I've been cheated on, but I'm a different kind of guy. So it's tricky
You're
to
what
ask
kind
me
of guy?
that.
You broke up a little bit. What kind of guy are you?
I'm kind of different. Like I'm like what kind of that's why I know it probably sucks and you want to get to know why do men cheat, but it's like I don't know. Like
So let me ask you. You're
to me,
pity
are we
patting
talking
around
about
it.
sexually? Are we talking
We're
about
talking no, but
going
this
on
is
a
what I'm
date?
saying.
Are we
Cheating
talking
is
about
not just a physical
talking?
thing.
You know,
Cheating
right,
is not physical. Cheating is not
right,
solely physical. Cheating,
right,
there's so many other
right,
aspects to cheating. And
right,
cheating for
right.
me starts in your mind, right? The moment you
Okay.
start thinking about because thoughts
Hmm.
become actions, do they not? And so whatever you start
Hmm.
thinking about, it'll eventually show up in your action. And if you can't
Not
do
all the
that
time.
thing,
Sometimes, not all the time.
a lot of times, and when it comes as it relates to staying on this topic, as it relates to this, if you think, but that's what I'm saying, a purified mind, okay, produces purified actions. A righteous mind produces righteous actions. So if
Sure.
you're
Okay.
thinking about being with this one, or you're lusting over people and that sort of stuff, it will eventually come out. So you have to really be more mindful of the thoughts that you keep. And then
So you're
once it
saying
does come out,
cheating starts if he thinking about it, he cheating on you already.
no, I'm just saying, watch how you, no, it's just like everything else. What you feed will
Oh,
grow. What you feed will grow.
okay.
That's not disputable. What you feed will grow. So if you're always thinking and
Right,
lusting over women, or
right,
you're doing things that keeps your mind wondering and curious about that thing, then
right,
eventually it's going to show up in your actions. So all I'm saying, I'm not saying let's be
right,
robotic here. I'm not saying
right,
you don't see a big button, you don't take notice to it. I'm saying, how
right,
often are you feeding those thoughts?
right,
This is
right,
what
right.
I'm saying. Because in my
Okay.
situation, I know that there was pornography, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it, but anything to excess is bad. Okay. And like I said, what you feed will grow. So if you continue to feed that beast, he's going to want to come out and eat. And you know what I'm saying? He's going to want to come out and
Yeah.
eat. And so, that's why I'm very conscious of, what I do to keep my thoughts as righteous as possible, especially when that conversation that you talked about wasn't had. When you didn't have that conversation, when you signed up for commitment and monogamy, and then you thought to do something else without conferring with the person that you signed that agreement with, that's a problem. That's a problem. So let me ask you this straight out. Have you cheated? Have you been a cheater in your relationships, Mr. Toby? Let's talk about it. Have you?
Uh, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Give me some of the examples of why you went out to do that. What, because we were talking about unmet needs. We were talking about maybe not having a role model to know how you need to show up in a relationship and be honest and truthful and loyal. We were talking about things like, there's things that we haven't talked about yet, like the pressures of masculinity or toxic masculinity. What were some of the reasons when you did step outside of your committed relationship? What were some of those reasons?
Um, I think
Ain't he holding back?
just immaturity. I didn't
Immaturity.
know we was gonna talk about me. I thought we were talking about
I
men.
mean, we're talking. Well, I mean,
She
listen,
like,
we're
so
talking
when
about
you
men. We're
cheated,
talking about.
what was the bitch name? What she looked like? Why did you, when you knew, like,
No,
easy.
no, 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 no,
This
no,
ain't
no, no,
about
no.
me.
We're not.
I ain't speaking for
I'm
all
not.
men now. We ain't about to
And
get
this
into
is
my
what.
shit. That's not what this show is. We gonna leave me out of it, goddamn. I'm giving my
I
opinion.
mean,
I'm giving my opinion
your
on a,
opinion. Your
on a concept. What we're
wait,
not
is
gonna
your
do is bring
opinion
up
not
my
based
shit
on
and
any truth? We're just going.
unpack my shit. No.
I'm
Here's my
unpacking
thing.
my shit too.
No,
But
no,
no,
no. Here's
because we all fall short. I mean, we're
yeah,
not.
yeah,
None
yeah,
of us
yeah,
are
yeah.
perfect.
So
And we've
so
made
th-
mistakes, and that's why you
yeah, yeah.
have grown into who you are now.
This is what I think. This is what I think as far as when we say why do men cheat? Me, people, this, that, whatever. I think it comes down to what I've grown to learn about human behavior in general
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
is that we live with a sort of lacking. We live in a state of lack. We feel we're empty on the inside. This is why we consume so much. Why do women
Mm-hmm.
buy 1,000 pairs of shoes and say I ain't buying no more, I don't need no more, but they get that one more pair? Why does a kid want the next new shiny toy when they say, mommy, this is all I want, if you get this for me this Christmas, I ain't asking for nothing else, and then they want something else? I'm just talking about human nature. I think
Mm-hmm.
there's you know
So, in other
when
words, what I heard you say is greed, basically. Women wanting more shoes and they've got plenty is you just greedy. You don't need another pair of shoes. A kid wanting a new shiny
I,
toy when you
I
got a room full of them, you're just,
I
so are
think
men
human
greedy?
nature, I think human nature, uh it's like, King Solomon says in Proverbs, the eyes of man are never satisfied. This is something that's a part of our nature. Now, on one side of that scale, of that sliding scale, it could be a good thing because we're never satisfied. We're always reaching for higher heights and greater things, and we're always trying to achieve, and we're always trying to do more, right? But then on the
Mm-hmm.
opposite side of that same sliding scale, that unsatisfied nature, if not tamed, if not tempered, if not looked into, like
Mm-hmm.
this feeling of I gotta have something else because I'm not happy with just myself. If you don't learn how to be happy with just yourself, a wife ain't gonna make you happy. A new girlfriend, a new car, a new this, a new that. You're gonna constantly be searching for something else. So if you get married, you in a relationship, whatever, and you looking outside because there's something empty in you. It ain't even about, oh, my partner ain't this or this ain't that. No, it's there's something inside of me. So going back to your question of why
Mm-hmm.
I cheated
Mm-hmm.
for what I feel like the same reason a lot of people cheat: emptiness on
Mm-hmm.
the inside. You are
On the
depleted
inside.
within yourself, and you're trying to find sustenance. You're trying
Mm-hmm.
to find happiness outside of you, and
Mm-hmm.
you will never find happiness outside of you. That's why that another pair of shoes is only
Yeah.
cool until you want the next pair of shoes.
The next.
That next car is only cool until you want the next car, the next thing you buy, the next this, the next that, the next boyfriend, next girlfriend. You say, why do women cheat? Why do men cheat? Why do women date cheaters? Like, you go from
Mm-hmm.
one to because I'm sure he wasn't the first one. So why you keep dating cheaters? Because we're not looking at the true essence of the problem. And the bigger question to me should be, why are people so empty? Why are we so empty as a society? And we keep looking for the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. For some, it may be another woman. For some, it may be another car, another job, another dollar, another pair of shoes, another this, another that, whatever, instead of going within and searching for
I think the inside
the
with that
kingdom that's
inward,
within you, that happiness,
this
the happiness that's within you.
that lives within you. Absolutely. I think, I mean, obviously, once you have gone through it and you've had some years under your belt with some maturation, that wisdom comes out. But when
Right.
you're in that mode, before you pre wisdom, you do those things and you justify them in ways that can be highly manipulative, right?
Right.
Gaslighting and all that. Because and in the moment, before you're mature enough to understand that it was really me being empty and reaching
Right.
for something,
Right.
you do that whole manipulation thing, and that branches out into so many other things in terms of the receiver of it, right? In terms of what, so we're going to get into that in a second, but I wanted to talk a little bit about what you feel and how your thoughts on like the pressure of masculinity, right? Specifically toxic masculinity. It's a term that gets thrown around a whole lot. It's like a buzzword, right? That's like a buzzword now for some. And it could mean that men are trying to live up to some standard of a man that's not really realistic. And some of that looks like men aren't supposed to cry, men aren't supposed to be vulnerable, the disrespect of women, the entitlement, and that type of pressure of masculine, toxic masculinity. How do you machismo, exactly, like boom, 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 I'm King Kong, hear me roar. So how do you think that plays into and pressures men based to make choices, those types of choices in relationships?
That's a really good question. I believe that that's a societal problem. And when that starts, and I'm speaking firsthand as a man, that starts when you're a baby. And not only have I gone through it, but I have children. So I have girls and boys. So anybody with kids knows that a 2-year-old little boy and a 2-year-old little girl in many respects are pretty much the same, right? They ain't got nothing going on. You could put them in the tub together. They're the same. You understand what I'm saying?
I know my brother and I used to take baths together.
Right. So they both want the same thing. A 2-year-old little girl wants mommy. Little boy wants mommy. If you give the 2-year-old little girl a baby doll as a toy, she gonna bang the baby doll. You know what I mean? Just like a 2-year-old little boy would. But the only difference is the 2-year-old little girl starts getting taught at the age of 2. No, baby, you don't bang the baby. You hold the baby, feed the baby. So women are taught love, nurture, care, and all these things fresh out the womb. You got to put the baby to sleep, lady. You don't throw the baby down a 2-year-old little girl will throw the baby down the steps, just like a little boy would. The toy, you understand? And so look at what happens in society. A 2-year-old little girl gets handed a baby as a toy, and she gets taught how to love it, how to care for it, how to nurture it, and how to put the baby's needs before her own, right? To put the baby's desires before her own. So there's a level of maturity that already starts getting taught to her. The 2-year-old little boy, his first toy is a baseball bat, and he can bang the lamp. He knocking everything down because he's a boy. Let him be a boy.
Let him be a
So
boy.
there's this wild sort of that wild mentality, masculinity of I could just do whatever I want because let the boys be boys is the term, right? Boys will be boys. Who taught us that? Why isn't your old boy taught to care, how to be gentle, how to be calm, right? Check this out. If a 2-year-old little boy and a 2-year-old little girl fall and scrape their knee, they're both going to holler for mommy, right? Only difference is the 2-year-old little girl, she gets cradled, coddled. Oh, baby, she's okay, right? 2-year-old little boy, stop all that damn crying. Stop all that damn crying. Be a man. Be a man. There's a phrase that's take it like a what? Take it like a man.
Take it
What
like
the
a
fuck does
man.
that
Yeah.
mean? What does that
Right.
mean?
Right.
So I'm not supposed to
Right.
cry when my knee gets slashed open, but my sister can throw a fit and the whole family rallies around her. But if I cry over the same cut,
Shake it off. Yeah.
shake it off, take it like a
Mm-hmm.
man, stop all that crying, stop acting like a girl. Okay, so now you're training my little young mind, right? And we say the most impressionable years are from like 1 to 7. So
Formidable.
already
Absolutely.
these formidable years, I'm already being told, swallow your emotion. Don't give you see what I'm saying? Don't give in to your emotion.
I get the
Be
history of it.
rough,
I
tough,
get.
and all of that.
Yeah.
So it's like, I mean, even down to like, growing up
But here's the
when I'll be
thing.
watching.
I gotta just say something about that. I have to interject for 1 second. I get that, and I think we all understand the history of how men got to be that way. Just as we were all slaves, and our ancestors were slaves one day at some point. We've evolved since then. There's been a lot of evolution in emotional maturity since then, and you now have the option to make a different choice. Since you know that, you're mindful of that here. So now you've got to allow it to encourage better decisions. We can't keep falling back on that. We can't keep falling back on the 2-year-old. No, I'm just saying
I'm not falling back. I'm not falling
Right.
back. I'm giving you my answer. You asked me the question and I'm giving you the answer. Because the thing about it is we're evolved. We have evolved, but in a lot of senses, we haven't. And I'll tell you why.
Well, because we use that as an excuse to not evolve. Because remember,
no. I didn't say it's not an excuse. I'm telling you
but
where
people, where it came from.
Listen, you have to take into consideration that if something is embedded in somebody from the age of 2, then when you meet him at 32, it's going to be, and you think that because you've been with him for 5 years, 10 years, that's going to trump the 32 years of programming when you've been learning how to hold on.
That to be.
But listen, we have to be realistic. It's not an excuse, but it is.
It is an excuse because we can fix that. It's not an excuse. When you're mindful of it, you can't fix what you don't admit. If you can admit that where it was.
But I am admitting it. And like I said, things take time and maturity, but we can't act like it doesn't exist. Just like that's like a white person trying to say, slavery was so long ago, y'all need to get over it. And it's like, okay, we're working on it. We're working on it. We're doing better, but it ain't fixed.
But this is what I'm saying.
If it rears its head, don't be shocked. That's all I'm saying.
Here's what I'm saying. I'm saying, how do you feel like that toxic masculinity pressures men, okay, to make poor choices in committed relationships that end up with them cheating? So all I'm saying is that, right, I get it. You gave me the whole 2-year-old boy analogy, but I'm saying, okay, that was then. Why? Okay,
I wasn't done.
Bring it on.
I wasn't done.
Well, bring it home. Bring it home. Bring it home.
I wasn't done.
Okay.
So
I'm listening.
I gave you the beginning of it. Now, this is what happens also too. So now the boy is 7, 8 years old. And when he hears from his uncles and his aunties and women, men and women contribute to this. I've seen it with my own life and with my own sons. Grown ass women will look at a cute 7-year-old little boy, and be like, oh my God, you so handsome. You in school? What grade you in? I know you got all the girls. You start hearing this when you're 7 years old. I'm just telling you what develops a type of mentality.
The psychology of it.
You see what I'm saying?
I get that.
It never.
Let's fast forward because
I'm fast forwarding. It never goes away. It never stops. It only gets worse.
But I don't accept that because here's the thing.
Listen.
Stop. No,
the mentality doesn't stop. It doesn't stop until the man.
It is your responsibility to change your mindset. So
I agree with that.
At the point in which we realize that this is where it started, right? You've been honest enough to say this is where it's rooted. It's rooted in, things that were taught to us early on in those formidable years as we were being raised. Got it. Put that there. Put it right there. Okay.
And we're
Now
not
that
speaking
we're
about all
smart
men.
enough
We're
to
not
know.
speaking about all men. Let's
No,
be
no,
clear
no. We're
about
not
that
speaking.
too.
No,
We're not speaking about all men. This isn't a
it's 1%.
every
It's
guy.
1% of
You know
them.
what I mean?
It's 1%. Right. No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. And we don't even have
Right.
to disclaim that, because I hope people are smart enough to know we can't speak for every man or every woman in any case. But we got that. Put that over here. Now, here
Mm-hmm.
we are as adult people. We come into these relationships. We all have baggage. We all have gender baggage, is what I call it, meaning like the
Mm-hmm.
stuff that you just described, how little boys were raised versus how little girls are raised. So we come in it like that. So I'm Moshe. I
Mm-hmm.
identify as a she, her. You're Ryan. I identify as a he, him,
Mm-hmm.
right? And before we know each other's names, we already have baggage because of those things that you just talked about. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're mindful of that. So now that we're mindful of that, how do we change that so that we're better partners in these interpersonal relationships? Because we can't keep saying, well, I'm not vulnerable because when I grew up and I was 2 years old, my mom gave me the
That's
GI
not.
Joe
That's not
man.
what
And
I.
no,
No,
I'm
no, 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 no.
so
That's not.
but
That's
this
not
is
what I'm
what
saying. That wasn't your
I know, but
question.
what I'm
Wasn't.
getting at, my
Go ahead.
question was about how does toxic masculinity pressure men to
And
make
that
bad choices?
And that is my answer. It pressures them because it started so young to get all the girls. Your masculinity was tied to your women, how many women you got. And even in society. So when you ask the question, how does it pressure? I'm telling you how it
Okay, that's
pressures.
how
I'm
it
not
press.
saying
How do men
it's an
get over
excuse to
that then?
continue. Okay, that's
Okay.
another question. So moving forward,
How do you
how
get
do
over that? How do you
men
get over that?
men men get over it by maturing and being willing to look within and break that idea and that narrative in his mind. He has to break that. He has to say, yo, my manhood isn't tied to the amount of chicks I can smash. My manhood isn't tied to the kind of side chicks I have, or I got this one over here and this one over there and this, that, and da 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 da. Or even when it comes down to certain religions or whatever, men feel like, oh, well, men are entitled to have, multiple wives and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. These are just all these ideas that's been swirling around his head from society, whatever. I'm not saying it is an excuse. These are reasons why men do what they do. You wanted reasons? I'm giving you reasons. I'm not
Okay.
saying they're right. I'm not saying they're right. I'm not saying they're justified, but these are some
Or
reasons.
reasons. Okay. That's
Now
fair enough.
it take now with each man, case by case. Some men learn it a little earlier. Some men learn it a little later. Some men, oh, I got it all out my system. I'm good now, or whatever. But it takes him doing his own personal work, inner work. That's what it takes. You have to change narratives, just like a man has to change narratives from growing up in the hood. And there's certain rules that just come with being from this hood. But then he outgrows that, and he's like, "Yo, that no longer serves me. That doesn't
So
help me. I'm on a different path."
what I'm hearing you say is that the way you get over the pressure of feeling like you have to be this strong man who's doesn't cry and built like Teflon is you have to first admit that those things have at some point made you feel that you had to, and then you have to really let go. You have to actually submit to your own feelings. That's what it is at the end of the day, right? Don't you have to submit to your, because it's not that men have been these strong towers and they haven't wanted to be vulnerable. It's just that they never submitted to their vulnerability because of the image that it would hold. So I appreciate that. And that comes with a lot of maturity and a lot of experience. Let's turn the page for a second in terms of opportunity, right? Because opportunity and temptation is another reason why men can make people, but we're talking men this time around, that people make bad choices. And you being a celebrity, being you travel a lot, you've kind of had access and stuff like that. I'm sure you can attest to the kind of opportunities and the kind of temptations that are out there. How does one, you know, handle the temptation, because it's all over the place. It's in your DMs, it's everywhere. How do you handle the temptation of not falling prey to that if you're in a, committed relationship? How do you handle that and balance that?
In today's times,
Yeah.
because it was things were different when I was younger, right? There was no social media. I was in the limelight for sure, and there was a lot of opportunity. I was on tour, different countries, state to state, whatever. So the groupie love was real. You know what I mean? I think, I mean, the way I handle it now is because I don't want no parts of it. You know what I mean? I've gotten to the point of like, yeah, I'm cool on that because that shit just leads to problems, in my opinion. Or it's like, I just choose to move a certain way now. Because
Mhm.
I'm 48 years old, so I'm not moving like I'm 28. You know what I mean? I so once again, I just think it all comes with maturity. I also believe, and I think it's very important to understand the type of man you're with because every guy is not the same, right? So you have some guys who have a way stronger need to explore all these options. Other guys, going back to your point earlier, where you say if you think about it too much, you're gonna do it. I can't. I would have to disagree with that. Some guys can just look all day and they get it off in their brain and they cool. They'll never explore it, right?
Which guys are
And then
those? Go
they're
ahead.
out there.
I'm
Trust me,
sorry.
they're out there.
Oh,
I
they
mean,
are?
you know
Oh,
what?
okay.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them. Now I've learned how to look and be like, all right, I'm cool. Swipe, keep it moving. I ain't got to slide in the DM. I ain't got to get your number. I ain't got to see, well, maybe
So
we
are
can
you
link
so
up one
so let me ask you
time.
this. Do you like so you can look, but do you like? Because that's a new thing now. Social media has changed the
Right,
game in terms of the cheating, right?
right,
Do you
right.
like a whole bunch of pictures or do you just look,
I'm
admire, and
not.
move on?
I'm a different type of dude. Social media does nothing for me. I actually got into
So
social
you
media
don't
kind
like.
of late. Yeah, I got into it
Okay.
late. So the rules of social media and like, are you allowed to do this? Not allowed to do this. You shouldn't. Don't like this. But if you like, I don't play none of them games. Like some of my friends, some of my homies that I would talk to that would get in some trouble with a lady and they'd be like, "Yeah, man, she mad because I was liking the picture."
Yeah,
To
because
me, it
that's
it baffles me. I'll be like, "Yo, why you gotta like the picture though?" But I'm
right.
like, "Why
Okay,
you
so you
just
do
looking
agree that
swipe?"
liking is a little bit extra. I like it because that
Unless
shows
unless you're dealing
interest. That
unless you're
shows
dealing with a
interest.
guy, unless you're dealing with a guy who has this emptiness in him that needs some. He wants to leave that room. He wants to, maybe she'll
Open
see
that
that I liked
door.
it, right? So I think
Mhm.
it's really about you just got to know who you're dealing with, like what type of man do I really have, which is hard because there's liars and
I'm like, and you
manipulators and I
don't
get that,
exactly, and you don't
but
know until you get into it for real, for
and
real.
it's the same thing with women. You could think you got this girl who she ain't, I ain't caught girls quick to I ain't caught up in all that celebrity shit. You just a regular person to me. They'll say all that game. And it's like, you the first one. If I take you backstage at the Chris Brown show, you
Right.
gonna be the first fucking one sliding
Yeah,
off with
yeah, yeah,
Chris.
yeah,
Like I like knock
yeah.
it off. Like, or I'm not into all that materialism, but if I expose you to a certain thing, options,
Mhm.
now
Yeah.
it's gonna ignite something in you. And so when dealing with people in our relationships, we don't it's always a gamble, right? We none of us really
Mhm.
know what we don't even know what our kid gonna turn out to be. We hope they gonna be active members of society, but they could turn out to
Right.
be something crazy. So yeah, to your point, I personally don't be doing a lot of liking unless it's something like I'm into fitness, so I follow people that work out. Men,
Right.
women,
And
old,
women.
young, whatever. And if you getting
Yeah.
doing something fire work shit that I like, I
Yeah.
might like it. I might say, yo, that's that work right there. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'm gonna hit you with the
Yeah.
fire emojis on your workout page, not your personal. You know what
Right.
I mean? Like it,
Right.
like because I'm just
See
not
that
into
I
social
think
media. I'm not into that
in
like
that
that.
way. I
Nah, I'm
think
cool.
I think doing it that way, liking things or commenting on whether, the opposite sex's pages when there's a common interest, I
Yeah,
think that's okay. And I just think that you just have to be very careful with how you do it, how often you do it, because it can be perceived to be something else. And perception is
I get
people's
it.
reality. Whatever you
And
perceive is
that's
what.
another thing you
eh,
got to be mindful of. So for somebody like me, I know like people might be looking at me a certain way. I don't want nobody to have a bunch of weird ass receipts on me. Like, oh,
Right.
he's supposed to be da da da
Exact.
da. And he's all of my D, and they taking
All on
screenshots.
my
It's
yeah.
weird now.
All
So
thirsty.
I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
kind of
yeah.
I feel like we live in a day and age now where it's scary to cheat now.
Yeah, it should be. It
It's
should
scary
be.
to cheat.
For
I
my
don't know,
husband,
man.
it
It's
wasn't scary,
scary.
honey.
Oh,
Pilates
well,
and
I don't
yoga
know.
and all,
I don't know.
listen,
I don't know.
any opportunity that presented itself, I just feel like, and that's the thing, I guess I don't want to call myself jaded, but I guess I am kind of jaded. I guess I am kind of jaded on the whole what should be acceptable and what's not, like what's just a friendly compliment and what can be taken the wrong way because of the trauma that I'm still working and healing through. And I think this
Right,
is for many women, though. You know what I mean? I think many women
right,
who have been in serial infidelity type of relationships, you carry that, and now you're looking at things, innocent things, through the lens of, but what did you really mean? Okay, you fire emojis, but then, you know what I'm saying? Like it's hard for you to kind of separate the two. And this is where I think the impact of mental health comes in, when you've been on the other side, right? When you've been, because I've never been a cheater. I've just never been, I'm not that girl. I'm just like, this is what it is. This is what I signed up for. I'm putting my all into this. I have no capacity to go out and do all of this with someone else. I just have never been that girl. But being on the receiving side of that, what I realize about the impact of the mental health is manipulation where infidelity is present can deeply compromise your mental health in several ways. Like when your partner is trying to hide or justify, they use these tactics like gaslighting, right? Like gaslighting or blame shifting or playing on your insecurities. And so I want to talk to you about this other buzzword, because gaslighting is a big buzzword. People are like, well, what the hell does gaslighting mean? But gaslighting is kind of like when you make people doubt what they know or what they feel or what they see. Like that's a real thing. And if you do it enough, the person starts to feel like, I guess I can't trust myself, because I did I not see what I saw? You know what I mean? Did I not see what I saw? Did I not hear what I hear? And for me, I'll tell you a quick story. I would be on to something, right, Ryan? I would be on to something, and he would downplay and dismiss me as if it was just my insecurities flaring up again. You know what I'm saying? And I remember one time he drove this Mercedes Benz home, right? He drove this Mercedes Benz in my driveway, and he says, from the gym one night, and he was like, "Oh, I left my keys in the gym." And by the time I got to the car and noticed I left my keys, I go back to the gym. They had already locked it up. So this guy was out there. Somebody was in the class with him. And he was like, yo, man, just take me home and just drive my car home and then come back and pick me up in the morning. And then I'll take you back to get your keys. And I'm like, that's a, who was this? So I'm asking questions. The more questions I asked, the more defensive he got. And I'm like, this don't sound right. Long story short, it didn't sound right because it wasn't right. It straight wasn't right. Right. And he tried to make me feel like me asking all these questions was like something out of this world. Like, why would you ask all? I'm just telling you, my keys. I'm like, but you didn't think to call me before you go ask a stranger to use a Mercedes Benz, and he let you have his keys overnight. You don't know him. So it was one of those things where I'm like questioning myself, like, okay, so maybe should I have believed that story? And that was one of many incidents of gaslighting. And after a while, you really start to doubt yourself. And you really start to think, like, is it me? Am I insecure? And I realized, like, hell no, I'm not insecure. Ninja, you gave me every reason to be insecure, and then you asking me, and then you're going to turn around and ask me why I'm insecure. So where do you stand with how gaslighting, how blame shifting can have a tremendous negative impact on people's mental health when dealing with infidelity in relationships?
I'm in total agreement. I dealt with it with an ex girlfriend that she used to lie to me so much and make me think that I was, you tripping and
Right.
so and so ain't your friend, and I mean just weird, outlandish, outlandish kind of lies, and had me questioning my homeboys and like, nah, he ain't even really your friend, and you know, uh, you need to watch him and all. And the whole time it was her that I needed to watch. You know what I mean?
Watch. But were you
And
believing
that,
it? Weren't you believing it?
yeah,
Yeah, a little
I was
bit.
believing it, but you know, the God in me was working overtime, because my discernment was, even though it was working on me for sure, it did a number on me. I ain't even gonna lie. For a long,
Mhm.
even after we broke up, like, I ain't even gonna lie. Uh, Truth be told, man, 20 years after that, I was still like, just, I couldn't believe
Wow.
the amount of, like I kind of
Wow.
looked at women. It just made me, like, not like women. You know what I mean? Like, I
But
like
that's
women, you know,
something
but it
that's
just made
real
me
deep
like,
that you say that 20 years
yeah,
later you were still trying to unpack that moment in time
yeah,
20 years later.
yeah.
And this is something that people don't understand is that
Mhm.
I'm not suggesting physical abuse isn't as bad, but what I
Mhm.
will say as somebody who survived domestic violence, what I will say is physical wounds heal, but the emotional scars that are left by that type of gaslighting or that type of manipulation are long lasting 20 years.
Yeah.
And that means you
If I
really
could be,
have to do the work. Like,
if I could be honest, it affected my relationships, different relationships moving forward greatly. You know, if I could just be
wow.
totally honest, and
No,
like I
please.
said, now, 20 some odd years, however many years later, I've, done a lot of self work and healing and forgiving and yada yada yada, and I'm able to look at it now and just really see, like, dang, it messed up. I had trust issues for a long time. Kind of still
Yeah.
do, but I'm way better
Same.
now at
Yeah.
acknowledging my trust issues. I know where it
Right.
comes from. I have to
Right.
constantly remind myself, this situation ain't that situation. This person
Right.
isn't that person. You have to give
Right.
the new people a clean slate. You got to be willing. Like I
Got to
said,
give them grace.
it
Yeah.
all goes back to inside. It's all about
The
you.
internal work.
It's all about
Yeah.
what's going on within me. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
Right.
no
No.
one can
Very
hurt me
true.
unless I allow them, and no one can make me happy. Like, you understand? I have to make
Yeah.
me happy. I have to heal me. I have to do all these things, and I'm just a firm believer of, taking back your power as much as you can. But to answer your question, yeah, it impacts you greatly,
Greatly. I mean, your
even more than what
self-esteem.
you
I
sometimes acknowledge. Yeah,
No,
for sure.
seriously. I mean, I used to really look in the mirror at myself and say, I didn't even really love that girl that looked back at me. My self-esteem was so
Yeah,
eroded because I'm thinking like, well, what's wrong with me? What's wrong
yeah,
with me? And what can I do better? What did I do? And I would just have all
yeah,
these questions, and that all stem from the fact that you can't just own your shit. Instead of just owning your shit, you want to make me feel like I did something to cause you to do that. Like even from a standpoint of sex, right? Even from a standpoint of sex, it's like you would go out and cheat and then say, well, if you ain't giving me none, what am I supposed to do? Well, let's unpack why I'm not giving you none. Let's not start this story in the middle of the chapter. Let's go back to the beginning of the chapter. Because when we first started, baby, we were like hot and heavy. We were like teenagers, you understand what I'm saying? So it was a slow erosion of that because I didn't sign up for community dick. I didn't sign up for that. You know what I'm saying? And then when it became that, I retreated because it's emotional for me. Intimacy is emotional for me. And so now that you decided that instead of helping me to heal through the things that I've forgiven you for, you decide to go out and add more to it because I've retreated a little bit in that area. How about you do more to make me feel comfortable again? How about you do more? You know what I'm saying? And so that became a whole other level of manipulation and blame shifting. It's
yeah,
not I'm not having sex with you. It's why am I not having sex with you?
yeah.
You understand what I'm
I
saying? What are you
Yeah,
doing to make me want to be that intimate,
yeah.
with you again? So
I
I
actually
really fed
actually
into that shit, man.
I actually wanna speak on that, because I think your listeners could benefit a lot from this, just from the male perspective, right? And let me just preface it by saying, this isn't for justification purposes. I'm not trying to justify behavior. What I want to do, though, is shed light on the brokenness and miseducation that a lot of men and our young men in today's society with internet and pornography and, I hate to say it, hip hop music, and just like it's really that what you're just talking about. I've gone through that with in different relationships, and I flat out didn't understand it. I was I didn't understand, well, if she's not giving you any, what are you doing or not doing to create that safe space for her to feel like, you know what I mean? And so I'm
Right.
speaking, I'm not trying to speak on your ex, and I'm just talking about, I know what that feels like as a dude, to be completely confused, in the dark, not understand what intimacy is, raised on pornography. So it's just about hitting and sticking, and then raised in a culture with the music and, oh well, if she ain't giving you, I'm gonna hit this one. And if you I've said those words, and I'm just being vulnerable and transparent about that. I've said those words not knowing what that means, or even the impact that that can have on a woman when you say something like, well, if you ain't gonna give me none, then you know what I mean? I've said those words, and I was speaking from a place of just sheer, just like ignorance, and just like men
Mm.
aren't taught intimacy. Men learn all these words like intimacy and love and quality time and this. We learn that from a woman. We don't learn it from our homies. We don't learn it from our cousins. We don't learn it on the block. We don't learn it in the school. Like, we don't learn it anywhere. We don't learn it in school. We don't even really learn it in church. They don't really talk about sex like that in church like that.
Yeah.
So it's like we don't learn it anywhere. Again, this is not, I'm not justifying behavior. I'm just letting you into the psyche of, like, for guys, a
But
lot of
when
times
but I
we
guess
just,
I guess I understand. Yep, no, I definitely
and
understand
I'm not
that.
saying
Not
it, I'm not
understanding
saying it, I'm not saying
intimacy.
it to I'm not saying it to, like, say what I'm speaking to the your listeners or the women, to say, like, as a society, we got to work on, men and women. We have to work on a better way of raising our little boys. You
No, I
understand?
get that.
Little
I
girl,
get that.
like
I
like
get
we
that. I'm
got to
not I'm
raise
not
little
remiss
boys
to
from a
that
young
point.
age to, like, understand what it means to
What
handle a
I
woman with
I get it,
care,
but
with
here's what
intimacy.
I'm going.
You
This
know
is the
what I mean?
direction I was going. I do. The direction I was
You know?
going in with that is about someone who has had a track record, okay, of things. And then your woman pulls back in that area because she doesn't feel comfortable and safe in all of those things. And you
Mhm,
immediately shift the blame. Now you've gone out to continue in your
mhm,
behavior, and now you
mhm,
blame her because she had withheld that from you, as opposed to saying, why is she withholding this from me? And maybe I need to find a way to make her feel comfortable with me in that space again, as opposed to continuing the behavior and then blaming her for going out there again. That's, again, manipulation, again, gaslighting. That's what that is. And I get the fact that you don't understand intimacy, but you understand the fact that you've been out there in these streets for a long damn time, and this is probably why your woman don't want to have sex with you. You understand that, do you not? That's not complicated. There ain't nothing. That's black or white. That's 1 + 1 = 2. Yes. Oh my God.
yeah, of course. What do
This
you
guy.
mean?
What?
What
I'm
am I?
like,
What do you want me to say? What do you want me to? You want me to? Yeah, girl. Fuck. Like, what you? I'm speaking. I'm the man, and I'm not. Like I said, I'm not justifying anything. Niggas do
I'm
a
just
lot of
well.
crazy shit. All I'm saying is, I
So
mean, I
let's
don't know how hard you want me to agree with you. You know you're right. Wrong is wrong. Cheating, I get it, all of that. I'm trying to shed some light into why. The question, big trusting topic of the night is why men cheat. Not, you know
right.
what you did, and well, you know that shit was fucked up. That's not the topic. The
So
topic
my
is
what?
why. So I'm giving
No, and then
answers
and
and
so the
shedding
why
light
is
into
why are they
why.
refusing to why are you refusing to accept accountability for your behavior? Rather
No,
you
I
want to
I agree with you.
blame shift and make it my
No, no,
fault.
no.
Make your
I agree with
behavior
you.
my fault.
I agree with you. And so
That's what I
once
was
again,
saying.
I think that learning accountability comes with maturity and it comes with self-reflection. A person needs to be courageous enough to look at what they're doing. All of us tend to shift blame for a long time in our lives. You know what I mean? It wasn't my fault. It's this one. It's that one. We have a whole nother show about why women don't take accountability when they wrong, but that's another show. So I just think that people in
You don't know
general,
the
men
rules?
included,
Number one.
I think
I am
that,
always right. Number two.
it takes a lot
Refer
of
to number one.
courage.
You didn't hear that. It's like, no, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You know, that's why he cheated. No, I'm just playing. Anyway,
Bada boom.
so I just think that when it comes to accountability, number one,
You
it
know
just
what? Can
goes
we do
back.
this?
So
I want to talk about accountability because
yeah.
when we come back, we're going to take a little short break, and when we come back, I really do want to know if you think that men can change that behavior. Those men who participate in those, not every man, but do you think that men can change? And then let's talk a little bit about accountability and growth before we get out of here. Let's take a short break. Mika,
Step into Closet Bar, the spot where fashion meets attitude and every piece is a vibe. Whether you're looking to shake or stir up a night out or something casual for your everyday slay, they've got pieces that'll serve you day and night. From casual to sexy, trendy, and timeless. Freshen up your wardrobe with Closet Bar. Timeless pieces, brunch pieces, day with your bae pieces, and everything in between. At Closet Bar, fashion is made for everyone. With a wide range of sizes and styles, there's something for every woman, no matter your age, shape, or vibe. Want some extra help curating your look? Book a personal style session and let our experts craft the perfect outfits for you, tailored to your personality and lifestyle. Head over to Closet Bar and get a taste of what it means to stand out. Shop the latest collections and upgrade your style game. Don't miss out on the must-have pieces that'll keep you fly and fierce no matter where the day or night takes you. Whether it's a statement piece or everyday essential, Closet Bar has what you need to feel confident and look amazing. For your next signature look, shop myclosetbar.com. Use the word closet at checkout and receive a 10% discount. Closet Bar, because you deserve to look as good as you feel.
All right, and we are back. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Joining me in this conversation about the psychology of infidelity and why men cheat is my good bro, Ryan Toby. Okay. All right, so let's just kind of wrap our conversation with this. It's the second one, Meek. Let's wrap our conversation with this. Do you think that someone who has maybe had a long history of that behavior, do you think that there is real opportunity for real change and growth? And how does that happen? I think you kind of tapped on it at the beginning of our conversation with the inner work, but talk more about what that looks like.
Yeah, I absolutely believe anybody can change,
What does
work
it
on
look
themselves.
like? I guess. What,
I
I guess
think
that's the better question.
it starts with being honest with yourself. You can't be honest with anybody until you're honest with yourself, and it also starts with self-love. You can't really love nobody properly until you properly learn how to love yourself. A lot of the behaviors that we're talking about tonight, I think, stem from just a lack of self-love. And I already gave you my dissertation on the history of how a lot of little boys are raised in our society, in our culture, in America. And I think that's where the lack of self-love starts, because it's never talked about. Little boys aren't taught to love themselves. They're taught to run wild and prove their masculinity through their penis and through their machismo and all these, which isn't self-love. You know what I mean? Little girls are taught to respect themselves. Sit up straight, girl, close your legs. You got a dress on. There's people in here. Do they, like, little girls are taught to start to have self-love. You don't give nobody your cookie. You protect it at all costs is how we teach our daughters. But with our sons, it's more like run around, piss outside, climb a tree, do whatever you want. Boys will be boys. And I just think that what we're dealing with is, you then have a grown little boy pretty much. He never really had to grow up A lot of men never had to grow up. Nothing in their family life, their school life, college, nothing required them to grow up. And then they meet a girl who's been working on growing up since she was young. She's like, why are you so immature? For the same reason you're so mature. Like you were raised different. That's all. And all I'm saying is when a brother has to be taught either by another brother, a community of brothers, somebody he respects, somebody who got
That
the
part.
game, to be like, yo,
Village.
bro,
Very
I know
important.
how we were taught. I know what we was raised. I know what we think it is, but it really ain't that. And let me tell you what
Yeah.
it really is, bro. When you're dealing with a woman, you need to do this. You got to think like this and this. You got to take accountability.
Yes.
This,
Yes.
this. And then it's to each his own to take heed to the game
Heed to
and be
that. Yeah.
willing to do the inner work and that go to those dark places, those wounded, broken places and rebuild, tear down and
Hmm.
rebuild,
Tear
unlearn
down and
and
rebuild.
relearn.
Yeah. That is so poignant. I'm so glad you tapped on that. The strength in your village. I always say I think every episode I may say you are the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I believe everybody, women and men alike, need strong people around them, people that can sort of check them a little bit or impart wisdom that they have not yet garnered upon them. Because when you're out here in this world doing it all by yourself and you've got no springboard, no positive reinforcements in your close circle of people, you're sort of just out here. You're just frivolously just out here with no um, no positive, people and things to bounce. Because in your mind, you may think, because do we not talk to ourselves and answer ourselves at the same time in our mind? And if there's nobody to kind of mediate that thought, you're like, oh, that's right. If I ran it past one of my villagers or one of my sister girls, and they're like, girl, that's crazy. And if you don't have that, I think that you are certainly a lot less likely to do that inner work because you are asking and answering the question yourself. You know what I mean? Ryan, thank you, bro. This was a healthy conversation. This is a healthy conversation. I think you could have got a little more greasy, but that's okay. I think you could have been a little more greasy. I think you were being
How
very
so?
um I think you were being very clinical. I think you're being very clinical, and this is the thing.
You don't like the answer. You asked
No,
the
no, no. I like the
question.
answers. I
You
like
don't
the
like
answers. I
the answer.
think the answers were on point. No, I do
You
like
don't
the
like
answers. That's it.
it.
No, I do.
Would
I
you? I
like
don't
the
know what you
answers,
want me to say.
but no, you know what it is? It's
Men
it's
cheat because
it's
men
the
ain't
new
sheep.
you.
That's the answer you
There
want.
you go. For the last hour, I was looking for that. No, I'm only playing.
Yeah, I know you was. I know.
No,
Yeah,
no, no, no.
I
I
know.
appreciate your insight because you've evolved so much since I've met you 100 years ago, and I think that you're just an amazing guy. Like you're an amazing guy.
Oh,
You're
thank
so super talented, and you've mentally you've evolved. Because
thank
this Ryan is definitely not the Ryan from 20 years ago, and should not be the Ryan from 20 years ago. So, yeah,
you.
who
It's
who
all
would be
good.
the same? Yeah.
I just I'll leave your listeners with this. Y'all take it how you want. I get it. There's a lot of sister girls on the line, and hey, man, I didn't make the rules. Okay, I came on the show because the question was why. Can you help
Yes.
me shed some light on why? All
Mhm.
right. Well, I'm giving you some of my reasons why. Now, if you want to slice and dice my reasons, that's on you. But I'm just,
We
and I,
respect your reasons. And
that's
they were
it.
and they and
And
they
I
were
think
poignant,
I
very
just think
poignant.
they're broader. I wanted to have a more broader social conversation. You know what I mean, about like what's going on with our young men and how do we like really fix it? I know like with
Yeah.
my sons, I didn't raise my sons with that type. There was things that I didn't teach them. I didn't even say
Yeah.
things like, "Oh yeah, my little, you see how pretty he is. You see his curly hair. Yeah, he gonna be a little player." It starts there. I didn't talk
Mm,
like that to my boys.
mm,
It starts
mhm.
right there.
Breaking the
I never
cycle.
spoke to them like that. I never, and
Yeah.
even when women would say, grown women, "Oh my God, he's so cute. You need to be my boyfriend." If I was 10 years younger, you would be my boyfriend. Now, if I picked up your little daughter and said that, I'd be thrown in
Mm,
jail. But we live
can't
in
be
a
a problem.
society where even women contribute to, you know what I mean? this
Very true.
toxicity
I
that
can't deny
happens. You
that.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to talk about, like, and how we could just start to do better. Like, why niggas cheated on you already? I can't change that. But moving forward, what can we look for? What signs, and how can we be better at doing self work so that we can all heal, because we all just
And we can come into our
unhealed. That's
relationships
all.
more healthier.
Exactly. If I meet you and I've already done that work, and we had that conversation on date one, and you like, so how healed are you? How evolved are you? Have you dealt with your childhood trauma? Have you dealt
That's
with
the
your
new
father issues?
conversation, baby.
Have you dealt with,
That is
like,
definitely the
who,
new
like,
conversation.
so that way I won't be looking for my happiness in you. You understand?
Right.
I'm already
Right.
fulfilled and happy. You already fulfilled and happy, and then maybe we can get together and build something healthy.
I love it. Ryan Toby, thank you so much, bro.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you being here, baby. Me loves you
Ciao.
long
Appreciate you.
time. Me loves you long time. Y'all can follow Ryan at what's your Instagram, babe? What's your Instagram?
At Ryan Toby Ryan. At Ryan Toby Ryan everywhere. At Ryan Toby Ryan.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
he's always somewhere. And listen, I get really, really inspired by watching your workouts, by watching you travel the world and just live life on your own terms. And I love you for that, darling.
Thank you.
Thank
Appreciate
you
it.
for hanging out
Appreciate it.
with
Love you.
us. All right,
Thanks
love
for
you too.
having me.
Bye, babe.
Appreciate you. All right. Bye.
All right, guys. So, all right. Well, that's it. That's the psychology of. He broke down some psychology. I did tell. I asked him to break down the psychology, and he did exactly that. Okay. Thanks, Ryan. We appreciate you. So before we roll, let me just give you my last and final thoughts on what I have learned in this conversation. Of course, I've shared some of my hard truths, as I do every single week in my own experience of being cheated on. I've learned that infidelity isn't just about the betrayal itself, it's about self doubt, the erosion of trust, and emotional manipulation that can follow. It's easy to feel like you're not enough or to wonder what you could have done differently. But the truth is, someone else's choices don't define your worth. I've come to realize that healing isn't about seeking answers from the person who hurt you, but about reclaiming the confidence and peace they tried to take away. It's about knowing that you deserve honesty, respect, and someone who values you as much as you value them. Your worth is not defined by someone else's actions. When someone shows you who they are, my mama used to say this all the time. When someone shows you who they are, believe them and let it empower you to move forward stronger and wiser. So What Now is executive produced and hosted by me, Moshe Loren. Our technical engineer is Abdul Kudus. Warren Thomas of City Country Creators designed our beautiful website and our logo. Check it out at MosheLoren.com. And Takia Crawford and my girl, Shamika Maddox, are our social media managers. And Miss Shamika, honey, she is here on Thursday. Love you, make man. The show may be over, and the show is over tonight because I don't feel like TikTok talking back. I'm tired. I am so tired. Would y'all forgive me, or should I go on for 5 minutes? Okay, I'm going to go on for 5 minutes. Meet me over at TikTok, honey, at Moshe Loren, okay? We're going to talk for 2 seconds, and then I got to give you some sleep. Thank you guys for joining me tonight. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode. This is a community. We are building a village here. Next week is our season finale. Oh my God, it's been 9 episodes next week. And then we are going to take a break until January and come back with season 2 in January. And season 2 is going to be bigger, better, brighter. And the beautiful mess continues. All right. So make sure y'all join us next week. It's going to be a Friendsgiving episode. It's going to be great. Right here at 7:00. And don't forget, this is a talk back community. That means I don't want to have a monologue. I want to have a dialogue with you. So be sure you leave a comment and let me know how you turned your painful ending into beautiful beginnings. And remember, your story is your strength. On the other side of healing, there's helping. Until next time. Cheers.